right, so as weird as my Max Reacts intro is, I laugh every time I watch it. Hopefully some people giggle or don't just think I'm really weird. I'm kind of on point, however, because of what I'm going to be talking about in today's reaction to the Josh Brolin-led TV series on Amazon Prime called Outer Range. I don't know if anybody's watching this. I went through all 8 episodes. The season's already done, so they had the season finale just a couple nights ago. You can catch them all on Amazon Prime if you haven't yet. They did something kind of cool, Amazon Prime. I'm noticing some streamers are doing this where they're releasing 2 episodes at a time, as opposed to like Disney Plus, where they give you maybe 43 minutes of Moon Knight and they end on a ridiculous cliffhanger and you have to wait an entire week. You know, I guess they're going back to the old ways of presenting TV shows. Anyway, it's kind of cool that they do 2 episodes at a time. That is not necessarily what I want to be talking about. I want to be talking about a question of, is weird for weird's sake okay? I don't know if I can just easily answer that question, because otherwise I would just make a 4-minute video here. But we need to be wondering and asking about and considering audience expectation, tonal expectation in the shows that we're writing. It's something that Outer Range, I thought, did a good job until the season finale. And the reason I'm laughing is because those of you who've seen the season finale and watched the whole thing, you probably have some understanding of what I'm talking about. And if you don't, then my God, what did you watch? I don't know how you didn't notice the obvious scene that raises the level of weird to the point of, okay, wait a minute, what? I'm literally wondering what I just watched. Was this a mistake? So what's the point of being weird? And is my weird, in terms of what I consider to be weird, different than what you might consider as weird? Yeah, probably. But at the same time, there needs to be some kind of a thread. So that's what I want to be talking about. Because I think the hardest part about reacting to Outer Range is I'm having a difficulty going inward and really breaking down why I don't like what I don't like. Because the level of, I guess, curiosity in my head about why I hate it, the show, but also love it, is like way up here. I haven't quite figured out what's going on. Is this just me? Am I not hip enough to be able to notice that, oh, they did this absurd thing and that makes it art? Or I don't know. It's hard for me to break this down. So that's what I mean by how the hardest part about reacting is just understanding what's going on here as an audience member. It's a question of what entertains me and why. And I think as creatives, as people who are trying to write a novel or a screenplay or anything, we have to be asking that question. What do I like? Why do I like it? We can't be passive viewers, and I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this in previous Max Reaction videos before. I know I've mentioned it in the webinars that I host for the ISA. We can't just sit back and not wonder why we like something or not like something. We have to be breaking it down. That's why I'm doing these videos. I'm reacting not from an editorial thumbs up, thumbs down. I want you all to be watching these shows regardless of whether or not I like it. We have to be asking these questions. We have to be an active viewer, and I was extremely active when I was watching this show, paying attention to as much as I possibly could. And there are so many signs as to what this show is, and I'll explain what I mean. I'll paint a picture. I like science fiction, I like westerns, I like time travel, I like mysteries. You put them all into one show and it's like, yeah, I'm in. How could I not like this show? And so looking at the show as a whole, because this is a reaction video more for the whole series than just the pilot, there are things about it that were extremely noticeable, okay? I'm still painting this picture because I am eventually going to show you a scene that is so absurd that it still makes me laugh. Which, by the way, is why I'm wearing this t-shirt, because this line is from a particular movie, and you can comment in the comment section below. If you're watching it on ISA Insider, on the pro tips page of the ISA website, you can go to YouTube and leave a comment. Let me know what this movie line is from. I'm trying to paint a picture so that you understand why I'm reacting the way I'm reacting, okay? So we have this very serious, dramatic, just chock full of conflict story that's going on. We have Josh Brolin, who is the owner of a cattle ranch, huge ranch, and he has neighbors, I'm dumbing this down big time, who want a portion of his land. And so there's a big competition here, right? Josh Brolin's son accidentally kills, major spoilers by the way, one of the sons of the neighbors. And this is in the pilot. So we see this right away. Okay, and it's a dire situation. Josh Brolin takes this dead body of the son that was killed out into his ranch field, way out in the middle of his acreage, and there's a giant black hole that we had seen prior to the point of him, about to do something here, and he throws the body into the hole. We have had some level of reference as an audience to. There's obviously this hole is mysterious, but there's something else about it. Like there might be time travel. Like we don't really know in the pilot, but we know that things disappear in here, like forever kind of thing. So he throws the body in. So that means the rest of the series is all about not only the mystery of this black hole, but also this family trying to cover up that they killed the next door neighbor's son. You put all those things together, and what does that give you? It gives you extreme drama, high stakes. Tonally speaking, it's very dark. Not scary from like a horror level of scary, but worrisome, to put it lightly, for the family and Josh Brolin, etc. Okay, there's a lot at stake here. That's in every single episode of the season of the show, over and over again. Like you tune in, going, yeah, this is going to be heavy, but also kind of high intensity and etc. 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 So with that picture painted, we have in the 8th episode of this is the season finale. Okay, like we've got all this build up. Season finale, man, big deal. We're getting a lot of answers. Not everything's revealed, but some really big hooky type of, ooh, wow, this is kind of cool pieces of information. Do you remember the singer, songwriter, actor Vanessa Williams? I'm assuming you do. She was very famous, still is very famous. Very talented. She wrote this huge hit in the early 90s called Save the Best for Last. I'm pretty sure I love that song. I think I was maybe 11. Now, in today's, day and time, just in present time, it's kind of cheesy. It's a cheesy love song, something you hear in the elevator. It's background music in a grocery store, or in this case, in this season finale, background music in a bank. So we have a scene. It's just unbelievable that I'm even going to tell this. So we have a scene where Autumn, she is this very mysterious character. She's been very mysterious the whole season. And she's starting to lose it mentally, right? She's really kind of coming unhinged. She's waiting for a file transfer of money. Not a file transfer, money transfer coming through in the bank. She's pacing, and the bank teller, who is a primary character, is like, what's going on? And she comes out, hey, you all right? And they end up getting into this really massive argument, like profanity, screaming, because Autumn has a gun. And the primary character is saying, you cannot have this in here. And Autumn's kind of threatening her. I mean, it's a nasty argument. Nothing funny or absurd about the argument. Autumn turns around, she storms out, and in through the bank doors is her extremely new, maybe 4-day-old new boyfriend. He's not 4 days old, but they've been maybe romantic for 4 days kind of thing. And he's really concerned, she's really concerned, and he grabs her and says, I'm not going to let this so-and-so, our main character, kill you, which, by the way, that has been what is leading us, the audience, to this big moment. There's a climax in the season finale where she wants to kill our main character, Josh Brolin. Josh Brolin wants to kill her. Like, we have this in the back of our head. He says, I'm not going to let that happen. She, melts in his arms, like, oh my God, and immediately dives in for what ends up being probably the most ridiculous on-screen kiss I've seen outside of a Will Ferrell comedy, and I'm not even exaggerating. It's as if they don't know how to kiss, and this is not acting. They did this on purpose. Like, this is not just the actors being bad. They were directed to kiss this way. So bad, I mean, tongues flapping, saliva coming off. Like, we have an extreme close-up of saliva, like string of saliva between the tongues. It's awful. And it's so obviously absurd that I was laughing hysterically. And then, remember, the Vanessa Williams song is playing in the background of this bank. Billy, her boyfriend, has been defined as a pretty out there weird character. I'll give them that. But not to this level of absurdity. He then starts singing along at the top of his lungs to Save the Best for Last. And she's like, wowed by this. And, I mean, he is like belting it out American Idol style. And then we cut the scene and we go off and to the next, continued storyline with no pause or it was so ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen, that it ruined the show for me. It really ruined the show because this is what I remember. There are so many cool, mysterious elements about time travel. We have like American buffalo herds running through present-day Wyoming. One of our other main characters somehow slipped through the time-space continuum or something and wandered upon this huge valley where she sees, this massive Native American camp and tents, and this is obviously not in present time. There's some cool stuff. It's like Lost meets a really dumbed down Yellowstone. I shouldn't say dumbed down. The show is defined by its seriousness. It's defined by its mystery, by its drama and conflict. We're supposed to be caring about these characters. They have some very real, personal things going on, even though I didn't really care about the characters all that much. I was going to react to that, how I just didn't feel connected to the characters, until I watched the season finale and the tongue-flapping Will Ferrell comedy-esque kissing scene with a musical rendition of Save the Best for Last. The reason I'm bringing this up, everybody, we as writers, we have to consider tone. We have to consider audience expectation. That scene was so outside of my expectation that I actually wondered, am I doing something wrong? Like, as a consultant, as someone who works with writers, am I teaching writers the wrong way to do it? Because this show got made. It got a huge cast, huge budget, obviously. It's going to be picked up for season 2. If it doesn't, then we massively wasted our time watching the first season because virtually nothing gets answered. And there's a whole major reveal in the season finale that would have been cool had we not seen this one person kissing in the way she was kissing and being sung to. We have to be considering what it is in our own material is defining tone and hitting that tone. Because you're delivering on so not only the promise of the premise, but the promise of here's what our show is. This is what you as the audience are tuning in to watch. Friends isn't going to suddenly slip into, horror thriller and, incredibly depressing whatever. I mean, I think you understand where I'm going with this. Granted, it's a sitcom. Outer Range is an hour-long drama. Fine, maybe you can get away with a little bit more with an hour-long drama. But this is why it was so hard for me to dive in and figure out what it is about the show that I don't know how to articulate it. Because I do want to continue watching, because a little bit of the level of absurdity in that one moment, but also because of the cool mystery. At the same time, I think I hate the show. It angered me. And maybe that's a good thing. Like, this is why it's hard for me to break this down. Maybe it's a good thing because you're getting an emotional reaction out of the audience. Emphasis on maybe. Because I didn't like it. It bothered me a lot. Maybe I'm too mainstream. Maybe I don't get it. Maybe I'm not part of the artsy-fartsy world. But folks, if you see it and you watch the season, this is not artsy-fartsy. This is not high-level conceptual artistry that they're creating. It's not. I don't know if they were trying to do that. I doubt it. But I just don't understand what they were doing and why. And that is what bothers me so much. It just bothered me, obviously, to the point of spending this much time without going for a drive. I'm not going to get kind of cool, put on my GoPro and get in my car and, drive Bozo around town, even though Bozo might have felt oddly absurd enough because of the name of my car. That's it, everybody. That's all I'm going to do. It's all I'm going to do as far as a reaction. If you have comments, questions about anything, if you love the show, if you hate the show, if you have any kind of answer as to my inability to properly react to this show from a consultant point of view, please comment away. If you're watching it on, like I said, on the ISA Insider page, you can jump over to YouTube and you can leave a comment there. There are going to be a lot more of these episodes. Again, if you know what this line is from in terms of the movie, put it in there. I'll give you a nice little pat on the back. But that's it. Like I said, lots more of these to come. Thank you for watching. My name's Max Tim with the International Screenwriters Association. You'll be seeing me soon.